Lovely, lovely. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're well. I hope that you've all had a good weekend so far. Weekends are the best, right? They're the time that we get to really just let it go, relax, chill, and recharge for the next week again. The lighting here isn't the best, so I do apologize, but you should be able to see enough of me. Right, so lovely to have you. Thank you very much. If you're new to my page, welcome. Lovely to have you. My name is Layla, and I'm here to teach as much English as possible. English is my first language, and I am practicing my Farsi on a daily basis thanks to lovely people like you. So I usually tend to speak English in these live sessions. That's firstly because it's more convenient for me, but no, I don't want to be too lazy. It's because a lot of students are requesting that I mainly stick to English and I don't speak Farsi. Excuse me. But lovely to have you. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you find my posts semi-useful, hopefully somewhat useful. Lovely, lovely. Okay. How are you? I'm well. Thank you very much. I've caught the sun. When you're in the sun, gorgeous, gorgeous sun here. Sorry, I don't want to rub it in. I don't want to rub it in. I'm going to write this down so I can include it in the caption. I don't want to rub it in. I don't want to rub it in. I don't want to rub it in, but there's gorgeous sun here, obviously, and I have caught the sun. You can see that I've gone really red, even though I'm wearing lots of sunscreen and everything. You still catch the sun, obviously, especially because I'm not used to it. I'm feeling much better. Thank you so much for asking. Yes, I was absent from Instagram for a couple of days. That's mainly because I had to go into mummy mode. My daughter wasn't feeling very well, so I had to devote all my attention to her and nurse her, but she's much better now. Yes, thank you for asking. Are you in California? Yes, I am. I'm here visiting my brother, and I'll be going back to the UK very soon. Lovely, lovely. I don't want to rub it in. Yes. That means امیدوارم دلتون نخواد. نمیخوام دلتون رو بسوزونم. I don't want to rub it in. I don't want to rub it in. I think you have sensitive skin. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. As you know, in the UK, we don't get a lot of sun, obviously. We'll be lucky if we see the sun, especially in Manchester. We'll be lucky if we get a glimpse of the sun every, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks a year. But it's lovely here, and I do need to be careful. Yes, anybody I think needs to be careful. Do you talk to your brother in English? Yes, I do. My brother's Farsi is actually quite weak right now because he doesn't have anybody to speak to in Farsi. His wife obviously is American, all his friends, all his colleagues, his life over here, everybody is American, so he doesn't really have anyone to speak Farsi with. So whenever we do WhatsApp or anything in Farsi, I do have to explain some things to him sometimes, but that's good practice for me as well. Okay, right, we are tired of the rain. Hamid Asadi, UK. Honestly, I know the feeling. Believe me, I know the feeling. Rain every day, all day. The part that really hurts, Hamid, the part that really hurts is when we get rain in the UK in summer. that hurts. It really does. And not just me personally, but there are so many people who really look forward to summertime. They save up, you know, in this very difficult climate, the financial climate, economical climate. People save up a lot of money throughout the year, and they either go to resorts or they go to holiday campsites or anything in the UK, and then it pours down, you know, it rains, which is such a shame, such a shame. And I'm sure for them it's quite a sad, depressing summer. But what can you do? You can't control the weather, I'm afraid. It's the same here in the Netherlands. Yeah. I like rainy and cloudy weather in the UK. Okay, good. I'm happy that you like it. Okay, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, right. So this session today, I was hoping. Hi Artefe, thanks for joining. I loved your skit, Artefe, the skit that you had with Samson. I thought it was amazing. I can't wait for the next one. It was really, really good. Both of you were so believable. It was amazing. It was really good. So keep it coming. It was so entertaining, so good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone saying bless you. Thank you so much. Right, so today's session, and I am going to see if I can close off the commenting. Sorry, I'm just going to close the commenting off purely because I don't want it to get distracting for anybody else. And I know some people have questions that are not related to what I'm saying. So if I can just get through this, and then at the end I'll put the comments back on, and I'd love to try and answer anything that you have. So there's a question I've been getting a lot through the messages, and that is, Layla, how can we improve our listening? Okay, a lot of people have gone to an English speaking country and they're okay with the reading, they're okay with the writing. They need to improve their listening so that then they can improve their speaking. As you know, speaking and listening, they happen together. You cannot have listening separate, speaking separate. In daily conversation, speaking and listening have to happen hand in hand. Okay, so they want to improve their listening so they can understand what the person is saying and they can continue in the conversation. There are a few tips that I'm going to mention here, and hopefully, regardless of what level you're at, regardless of whether you're proficient, advanced, intermediate or beginner, hopefully there's something here for everybody to take away from this session, I hope. So for me, when someone is speaking Farsi, for me, and I have to really focus and concentrate, I find it very useful to look at their face, to look at their mouth, and also to look at their face, okay? A lot of communication happens in the face. It doesn't have to be from the mouth, the sounds that they make. A lot of communication comes from body language. So if you can look at the person while they're talking, I know in some cultures it's not very polite or it's not respectful to have eye contact for a long time. I know that, but in English speaking countries, it's very respectful to look at somebody when they're talking. In fact, it's disrespectful if you don't make eye contact when you're talking to somebody or when they're talking to you. So just looking at that person really helps, whether you're watching something on TV, watching a video, listening to somebody in real life, just looking at their face and their facial expression really, really helps in understanding what they're trying to say. Another thing that I find useful for me, for myself, is when someone is talking to me, I have to try and not get distracted. Okay, so if someone's talking to me and I think to myself, ooh, that's a nice top. Where did you buy that top from? I'm thinking to myself, or, oh my God, this person talks a lot, don't they? Or, oh, it's so warm in here. When can I go? You know, they're still talking to me and I'm thinking of other things. Obviously, that's very distracting. So I'm missing the things that this person is talking about. It's important if I can stay focused and try to listen to what they're saying and not get distracted with other things. One thing that also helps me a lot is when someone is talking to me, I tend to ask clarifying questions. Questions that I've just heard you talking, there's a part maybe I didn't understand, or there's a part where I sympathize maybe, and I can either comment and give my opinion, or I can ask questions. For me to just sit here silently and listen to you for 5 minutes, that's very boring for any listener, right? And I think automatically we start drifting off. Drifting off, that's another phrasal verb and idiom that I'm going to write down. Drifting off, that means when you start getting distracted and you start thinking of something else. You're not paying attention to what's going on or what's being said in front of you. Drift off, drift off. And you start drifting off. Drift off, it can also mean when you start falling asleep and someone is talking to you, or it could mean when you start thinking of something else and someone is talking to you. Drift off, drifting off, drifting off. So if I just sit here and let you talk for 5 or 10 minutes, I might start drifting off. I think that's natural because someone's brain can only stay focused for a few minutes and then automatically they get sidetracked and they get distracted and they have to pull their focus back again. So it's really good if someone is talking, you throw in a few questions as well. You throw in a few comments as well, and that will keep the conversation going very much. Much better than someone talking and the other one listening anyway. So these are a few tips that I usually give for anybody listening to any language. Now, the students who had requested some kind of answer from me, they were saying, Layla, how can I improve my English listening skills? Okay, so what I've just mentioned is for any language. If you want to improve your English listening skills, if you're more advanced and you still want to improve your listening, a good tip I would suggest, I know there are professionals here in this live right now who might have other suggestions as well, and I'd love to hear from them as well, but one tip I think that would be really useful in improving your listening if you're quite advanced is to paraphrase what you've just heard. So you could be listening to the radio, you could be listening to a podcast, listen to a program on TV, listen to a conversation at a cafe, absolutely anywhere. Listen to a conversation in an office, two people are having a chat, in a hospital, wherever. But then you paraphrase for yourself or for somebody else what you've just heard. Firstly, because you have to paraphrase, you will be focusing a lot on what's being said. And secondly, it just kickstarts your brain into really thinking about what's being said and how you can say it in your own words. And sometimes you find that you're actually repeating some words from what you've heard as well. So that would be really helpful. If you're an advanced English speaker and you want to work on your listening, it's really useful if you can paraphrase what you've just heard. Okay, you might have heard 5 minutes of talking and you paraphrase it in 3 sentences. That's fine. It just means that you're thinking about what you've heard and you're processing it. And that's the idea of listening, to intently and intensely be listening to somebody to see if you can understand the comprehension of what they're trying to say. If you have to paraphrase it, I'm sure you'll be listening very carefully. Okay? If you're in a conversation and someone's talking, if you're in a conversation, do throw in some comments, do throw in a few questions It's absolutely fine. And I'm sure the speaker would enjoy, answering any questions that you might have. That's called a conversation. If that speaker doesn't want to be interrupted, I'm sorry, that's a monologue. And nobody's interested in a monologue. Conversation involves two people, definitely. If you're more of a beginner student, or you're in the intermediate stage, you're at the intermediate stage where you're still not very confident and you want to improve your listening, might I suggest that you watch something, either a video, program, whatever, and initially you might want to turn the subtitles on. Okay, in English, obviously, you want to turn the subtitles on just to make sure you know the words that they're using. Just watching TV and not knowing what they're saying, it might be useful in the long run, but it's not going to be useful to you today very much. So if you're watching a video, watching a program, turn the subtitles on. If you can record it, then that's even better. And so you're listening to the word, but you're also seeing the spelling of it as well. And I would go back and listen and read, listen and read, listen and read at the same time. So now I know these sounds that are being produced from this person on the screen, this is what they're trying to say. In the English language, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the sounds we don't actually pronounce. We might write them, but we don't pronounce them. One of them is the T at the end of a word, at the end of a word, at the end of a word. We don't always pronounce the T's at the end. We don't always say the complete sentence, yeah? Somebody might say to me, hey Layla, what are you doing? What are you up to? And I'll just say, doing some housework, cleaning out the shed, cleaning out the shed. I'm not saying I am cleaning out the shed. So it's useful if you've got the script there, the subtitles there, to see what that person is trying to say, and hopefully that would help as well. So for more advanced students, I would definitely recommend you paraphrase what you've heard. If you're more of a beginner or intermediate level, you might want to watch something, listen to something, you've got the subtitles on, and so you can see what that person is saying. Once you see what they're saying, once you understand what they're saying, you understand the meaning and everything, that is when learning starts, okay? So you haven't learned anything yet. If you just know what they're saying, that doesn't mean you've learnt it. That just means you've understood what they've said. Now comes the second stage, which is learning. And learning, we need to, I was talking about this with a few students a few minutes ago, we need to give our brain enough time to process information. I can't be too hard on my brain, let it see something once and then say, okay, come on brain, come on, what did you just hear? What did you just see? Come on, spit it out. I can't do that. I have to give my brain some time to get the information, process the information, see the information again, hear the information again. I start repeating. Did I repeat correctly? Let me check against the native version or the original version. And we just keep going round and round and round. Learning doesn't just happen in one go. This is an example that I mentioned to a few students a few minutes ago. When I created one of my courses, my Speaking 1 course, Dore Zaboni Yek, some students came and bought the course, fantastic. 1 week later, I'm not kidding you, I'm not kidding you, I'm going to write that down as well. I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. 1 week later, these students would email me, that was great, Layla, where's Speaking 2? And I would be absolutely shocked. Seriously? You've learned everything in Speaking 1 in just 1 week? How can, that's not possible. The amount of information which is in a course or in a textbook or in a podcast or a video or anything, anywhere, There's so much information. Just listening to something once, just reading something once, really won't cut it. It has to involve a lot of repetition. Okay, right. So I hope that I've answered a few questions there. Students who were asking me, Layla, how can we improve our listening? So hopefully I've been able to answer a few of those questions there, hopefully. I've got a few things here that when you're actually talking to somebody, if you're in a conversation, you're talking to somebody and you either can't hear them because it's too loud around you, or it's their accent, or you really don't understand what they're trying to say. These are a few ways that we can say, sorry, can you repeat that? Come again. We're going to go through a few of these now. Okay. So if you're saying something and I didn't catch that, I can say, sorry, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. That means, can you say it again, please? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Some people say, come again, come again. Come again is fine, but you only use this is a cultural thing. You only use come again if you're very friendly with somebody. So you wouldn't say come again in a meeting. You wouldn't say come again, for example, if you're in a shop shopping, you don't know that person. You wouldn't say come again with a stranger. Okay, I know we see and hear a lot of these things in movies and films, but we need to know when to say it appropriately. If it's somebody you're very familiar with, very friendly with, informal, yes, you say come again. Some people even say what, which is not very polite, but they're very friendly. If it's somebody you don't know, somebody you work with, a little bit more formal, then we say, sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay. Sometimes you're in the middle of a conversation, someone is talking and they have repeated it for you. You've tried so hard to hear what they're saying, and either that person will not speak up, you've asked them to speak up and they're not speaking up, or you really don't understand what they're saying. It's not your fault, it's their fault, okay? If they're the speaker, it's their responsibility to make themselves understood. It's not your fault if you don't understand what they're saying. Okay, it's the speaker's responsibility to make themselves understood. Sometimes I ask some people, sorry, could you say that again? Or I didn't catch that. Or sorry, it's really noisy here. Can you say that again? You know, آدم خب چند بار بگه لطفاً تکرار کنید. You know, you can ask a few times, and then this is my way of saying to that person, I'm not getting this, and this is how I say it. Sorry, I must be going deaf. Sorry, I must be going deaf. Deaf, it means I can't hear. Kar, yes? Sorry, I must be going deaf. So culturally, even if you are not speaking loud enough, for example, if it's your fault that I can't hear you, I will never attack you and say, "Khop, speak up dige." I will never say that, because that's really, really rude. I will put the blame on myself. I'll say, sorry, I must be going deaf. That means it's my fault. If I can't hear you, it's my fault. حالا ما میدونیم تقصیر اون صحبت اون کسی هست که داره صحبت میکنه، تقصیر من نیست. چند بار گفتم تکرار کنید لطفاً، صداتون رو بلند کنید لطفاً. It's not happening. So I say, sorry, I must be going deaf. That's my way of placing the blame on me, and that means I need that person to change their tactic. Either use a different word, or speak up, or speak more clearly, something like that. Yeah, sorry, I must be going deaf. It's my fault. در حالی که میدونیم تقصیر اون شخص هست, but we say I must be going deaf. It's just a polite way of saying یا صداتون رو بلند کنین لطفاً، یا کلماتتون رو یکم درست به کار ببرین، یا اصلا دیگه don't talk. So it's a polite way of saying please change the way you're speaking or change what you're saying at least. Sorry, I just okay, lovely. Sometimes somebody is saying something and you either can't hear or you missed it or something. You say, sorry, what was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? Sorry, what was that? That means, can you repeat? Sorry, what was that? What was that? Sorry, what was that? What was that? So we said, sorry, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. That means, sorry, I didn't get that. Can you repeat? I didn't catch that. Okay. Another one is, sorry, what was that? What was that? What was that? That means, can you repeat? If I keep saying, sorry, what was that? Sorry, I didn't catch that, and nothing's happening, that's when I say, sorry, I must be going deaf. I must be going deaf. یعنی هر چی من بهت شما میگم صداتون رو بلند کنین لطفاً نمیشنوم. هی میگم تو رو خدا ریپیت کنید، شما ریپیت نمی کنید، لابد من دارم کر میشم. But it's a polite way of saying it. It's a polite way of saying it. Okay. I must be going deaf. Okay. Sometimes, and this happens with all of us, not just with people who are learning English, it happens with all of us. Someone might say something that I don't understand the word, or I don't understand the idiom. Excuse me, I don't understand that phrasal verb. I don't understand something that that person is using. That's okay. I can say, sorry, I'm not sure what that word was. 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 Okay, that means you mentioned a word that maybe I didn't understand because of the pronunciation, or maybe I don't know what it means. Sorry, I don't know what that word was. Or for example, I'm not sure what that word means. I'm not sure what that word means. So we don't always say, what does that word mean? We don't have to use a question. We can use a sentence. Sorry, I'm not sure what that word means. I'm not sure what that idiom means. I'm not sure what that phrasal verb means. That means, can you explain it for me? And it's okay, you know, you're learning English, absolutely. Sorry, I'm not sure what that word means, okay. The last one that I'm going to say, because last week I went over, didn't I? I kept you for almost an hour, just short of an hour last week. So I promised myself I wouldn't keep you too long this time. One more thing that I use, if someone is talking, okay, so I can hear perfectly, there's not too much noise, I can understand the words that they're saying, but I don't know what they mean. Sometimes the comprehension is what I have a problem with. This is when I would say, sorry, this is going right over my head. That means I can hear what you're saying, but I just don't understand what you're saying, or I don't understand why you're saying this. Yeah, sorry, it's just going right over my head. It's going right over my head. Sorry, it's just going right over my head. That means I just don't understand what you're saying. Or I don't know why you're saying that. I don't know why are you saying that. Yeah, it's going right over my head. It's one way of people even disagreeing with other people. Sorry, it's going right over my head. That means I completely disagree with you. I don't understand why you're saying that. Yeah, I'm not going to give a political example about Iran because then I get really emotional and really upset about the current situation in Iran. Let's think of another another different example. Let's say, for instance, let's say somebody is telling me that children with Down syndrome, children with ADHD, children with autism. Somebody thinks that these children, we shouldn't send them to school because they are too dumb to understand. Something stupid, sorry, something silly like that. And if somebody says that to me, that, oh, we don't need to send these kids to school, they don't understand, you know, they don't understand. This is when I can say, sorry, this is going right over my head. Oop, that's my alarm, excuse me. I can say, sorry, this is going right over my head. That means, why do you say something like that? I don't understand. I am very, very much in disagreement with you. I don't agree with you at all. Sorry, it's going right over my head because I don't agree with you. So the last idiom that we're talking about, it's going right over my head. It's going right over my head. You can either use it when you don't understand what someone is saying, the vocabulary and that kind of thing. You don't understand the comprehension, or it's when you disagree with somebody. It's going right over my head. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. Yeah. So اصلا برای چی شما چنین حرفی زدید؟ این حرف اصلا چرا شما چنین صحبتی رو؟ You know, sometimes we get so upset when some people say some things either about racism or, you know, about religion or anything, policy, politics, anything. Sometimes we get so upset about people saying these things and we say, I'm not getting it. Sorry, it's going right over my head. I'm not getting it. So these are a few idioms or phrasal verbs or phrases that we use when we're in the middle of a conversation. And I'm going to write all of these down in the caption on YouTube. These are a few phrases that we use when we're in the middle of a conversation. If for any reason we don't understand what people are saying when they're talking, this is when we can tell them either please repeat because I don't know what you're saying, or please speak up because it's too noisy, or I'm not sure about the pronunciation, or I don't know what this word means. These are just a few things that we can say and use when we're talking. So I hope that you'll be able to use some of that in your speaking and conversation, I hope. Okay, lovely, lovely. Just to let people know, today was the last Zoom session that we had for Speaking 1. I will be starting to do Zoom sessions for Speaking 2, okay? So if you go on my website, we've got Dore Zabane Do, Speaking 2. And Speaking 2, I have taught, again, I've taught in English. All the explanation is in Farsi. So even if you're very beginner, you can still understand Speaking 2 if you wanted. Speaking 2 is useful for people who are living in the UK or people who want to move to the UK. I can't guarantee that it will be useful to you if you live in the States, if you live in Canada, if you live in Australia, because they might have their own different ways of saying things, okay? I'll give you an example. One of the lessons I have in Speaking 2 that I will be starting soon, one of the lessons is when you want to go and rent accommodation, okay? If you want to rent accommodation, there are certain questions that I suggest you definitely ask the estate agent, the person that shows you the house. They don't always give you all the facts. They don't always give you all the details. They will only give you the good points. They will only give you the positive points. There are some questions that you have to ask and they will then give you the answer. Okay, these are a few things that I have explained in Speaking 2. And this is why I'm saying I don't know if it's okay to use these in Canada, America, Australia. They are for the UK, but not for other countries. So Speaking 2, I will be starting very soon. We are still going through phrasal verbs and idioms. We're still going through that for students who are part of that, if you want to join that. And I will also be starting a brand new course, which I'm very excited about. It will only be in English. There will be no Farsi. It will only be in English, and it's about language and culture in the UK. These things that I just said, for example, if I don't hear what you're saying, I don't say repeat, say it again. I say, sorry, I must be going deaf. These are cultural things that we use. And usually you don't find these things in textbooks. So this is a course that I've started, and I've started this course because so many students have been saying to me, Layla, teach us about the English culture, teach us about the culture of the UK. So that's what I'm trying to do in this new course, which again is on my website. It's language and culture in the UK. I don't think of it as, this is one of those things that, please don't think I am buying this course. This is a course that you're investing in, okay? You buy courses because you learn or practice for an exam or whatever. And then this is a course that is for your future. So how much is your future worth to you if you live in the UK, if you're working in the UK, if you're living, if you're studying? You want to know the culture. You don't want to say something that's wrong. You don't want to be rude. You don't want to say something that's impolite. You don't want to come across as someone who's really arrogant. This is where culture comes in, and this is what I'll be teaching. So it's a way for you to invest in yourself. You've come to the UK, you're starting a new part of your life. This is where you need to get to learn the culture of this country as well. Grammar and vocabulary are useful, but they will not take you all the way. They'll just teach you a bit of it. A huge part of it is the culture, yeah? In English, if somebody comes in, I'll say, yeah, hi, come in, sit down. That's fine, it's very polite. Hi, come in, sit down. That's very polite. Can I say that in Farsi? Salam, biatu, bishin, bishin. Can I say that to my boss? No, but I can say it to my boss in the UK. Hi, come in, sit down. You know, I'll be with you in just a minute. These are the cultural aspects of the language that you need to get to know. So, depending on how much you value your own, how much you want to be free and feel confident in the UK, I would definitely think about this course, yeah, the language and culture in the UK. Okay, lovely, lovely. I've got a few people who want to come into my live. Okay, we've got time for one person, maybe one person. I don't know anybody here. Okay. Me has the same. Yes, yes. Diary of My Dreams. Pardon me has the same meaning as I didn't catch that. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's see. Hello. Hello. Is anybody there? No. Hello. Hello. Oh, internet is a bit wonky, isn't it? The internet is a bit wonky, so there might be a few connection issues. This is one of the reasons why I'm not sure if I can get anybody to come on because of the internet issues. Sorry. Let's try one more person. Okay. Let's try one other person, see if this will work. Okay. No? Okay. Why do you request to be in the live if you don't want to come on? Okay, I'm not sure about that, but yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give this person a few more minutes. the internet might be a bit wonky. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to find the idioms that we talked about today useful. Hopefully you were able to take away something from what you got. If there are, excuse me, if there are any questions, please do send me in my Instagram direct. I'm sorry if I've been a bit slow. Okay. I'm sorry if I've been a bit slow getting back to you. It's because I wasn't on Instagram for a couple of days. I was nursing my daughter, but I'm going to try and get to all the messages as soon as I can. Okay. Lovely. Did I miss anything here? Okay. Lag میزنه. It's wonky. Yes, yes. The internet is a bit wonky. Yes. When you invite someone, you will disconnect. Okay. Okay. Um, do you accept a student for CELTA? No, sorry, I don't teach CELTA. I don't teach Delta. I don't teach CELTA. No, sorry. I just teach everyday English, everyday conversation. No academics. I used to teach IELTS. I used to teach TOEFL years and years and years ago. But now I'm just sticking to everyday conversation, if that's okay. Right. Some people are saying that the reception isn't good. So this is a good time for me to love you and leave you. That's what we say as well. I'm going to love you and leave you. This is how we say goodbye. And I will hopefully see you not next Sunday, the Sunday after. Okay, I'm recording this. So not the Sunday coming, but the Sunday after. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on this live session. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you for taking part and have a very good evening. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.